Okay, so this is a shir on Tu B'Shvat, a delayed shir on Tu B'Shvat. We're gonna have to do it fast, but I want to do it's a machlokes. The machlokes, what was the Eitz Hadas? What kind of tree? You know the different shitas in the Gemara?
Esrog.
An esrog.
Psychedelic.
Grapevine.
Wheat. A grapevine, wheat, esrog. That's 3. It wasn't ayahuasca. I'm sorry.
Not an apple.
Mushrooms. It wasn't
Some
mushrooms.
say it was
Mushrooms.
shroom.
What?
Some say it was a shroom.
Who some?
Those are shrooms.
What? So what else is there? No more shita. Esrog. A fig. Te'ena. Okay? Those are the main shitas. Could be this, whatever. So I just want to read you 2 psukim. I want to ask you 2 kashas, and then we'll give the shir. So here's the 2 kashas. I'm going to go through quickly the story of. So I want to explain that the goal of the shir is to go through that machlokes, to show you it's like the most important thing in the world. What this tree was, why is it so important, and I want to go through all 4 opinions. And that machlokes, I think it's the most important machlokes in the universe. You'll see. It's a really, really deep machlokes. And there may be a 5th position. Let's see. Here's what it says. This is the description of Gan Eden. Vayita Hashem Elikim Gan be'Eden Mikeden. Hashem planted a garden in Eden to the east. Vayosam Shamas Ha'adam Asher Yotzar, and he placed in that garden the man that he created. That's the first pasuk of the Gan. That's the first we hear about a Gan. He created a Gan east of Eden, or Eden to the east, not the same place necessarily. And here's where the trees come in. You have to know this pasuk. Okay, 1 pasuk. Vayatzmach Hashem Elokim min ha'adama kol eitz nechmod lamara v'toiv lamachal. Hashem caused to sprout from the earth all the trees that were appealing to look at and good to eat. Vayatzmach Hashem Elokim min ha'adama kol eitz nechmod lamara v'toiv lamachal ve'eitz hachayim b'soich hagan ve'eitz hadas toivera. Hashem created all the trees that are appealing to look at and good to eat, and the tree of life, the Soich Hagan, the middle of the garden, the Eitz Hadas Toivera, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That's the whole story. Okay? Hashem caused to sprout from the earth all the trees that are beautiful to look at and good to eat, with the tree of life in the middle of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. What's the hara? Simple hara. Any simple haras over here? Anything asymmetrical in the pasuk? So the pasuk is basically describing what? It's describing that Hashem caused a lot of trees to grow, and then it identifies 2 trees by name. So basically saying there's a lot, I always tell a joke over here. What's a joke? This Jewish kid comes home all excited. Jewish kid, I ruined the whole joke already. This kid comes home from school and runs to his mother. Guess what, mommy? I got a part in the school play. And the mother goes, "Oh, that's so exciting. What's your part?" He goes, "I'm the Jewish husband." The mother goes, "You go back and you tell your teacher you want a speaking part." Okay. Anyways, maybe that's the wrong thing to say to Bachram. But okay. What? You're going to use it on the next date? It's like, don't do it. Okay. So why I stick it in here? So basically what the Torah is describing here is that you have a garden with a lot of beautiful, delicious trees. And the 2 trees, those are extras. Those are the extras without names in the credits. And there are 2 trees whose names are in the credits. All the trees that are beautiful and delicious, and the tree of life in the middle of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. You want to look it up. It is Perek Beis, Pasuk Tes. Okay? You see it? What's the hara? 1 tree, both trees it gives a name, only one of them it gives an address. The first one it gives a name and an address, the second one it just gives a name. You hear the hara? You're not with me. Eitz hachayim b'soich hagan, the tree of life in the middle of the garden, the Eitz hadas toivera, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. What words are missing? Where is it? Okay, it's important. That's hara number 1. You got it? The tree of life, where is it? And where's the tree of knowledge? We have no idea. Very good. Then Hashem says, don't eat from the tree. Which tree? Which tree does Hashem forbid? You could eat from all the trees. The tree of knowledge of good and evil, you can't eat from it. Where's that tree? The middle of the garden.
You don't know.
No, that's the one we don't know where it is. Right? The Eitz HaChaim is B'Sei Chagan, the Eitz Das Torah doesn't say where it is. Which one does Hashem forbid? The one that we don't know. Okay? And then the Nachash comes over to Chava. This is the second pasuk I want you to hear. And then the next parak. Vayomer HaNachash El Isha. Is it true that Hashem said Hashem even said you can't eat from all the trees? This is the pasuk base, and Chava tells the snake, no, we could eat from the trees in the garden. Just from the fruits of the tree that's in the middle of the garden. What did Chava say? We could eat from all the trees. Just the one in the middle of the garden we can't eat from. What's the problem? The wrong tree. Chava, right? It's the biggest question in the world. The whole chet of Chava that she ate from the Eitzadas. Which tree did she think was the Eitzadas? I don't know how you learn it up. Whatever it is, but she's definitely identifying the wrong tree. So likely, when the next pasuk, when she goes and eats in the tree, which tree is she eating from? So she's allowed to eat from that one. She never even ate from the tree of knowledge, according to this pasuk. You ever saw this horror? It's the most obvious horror in the world.
Unless they're both in the
Oh, good. So now you're already posing a teretz. That would be a very good teretz. That they're both B'Sei Chagan. You still have to answer why it
Pasuk's
didn't.
not clear. You can learn from the pasuk that they're both.
Yeah, the Torah doesn't say that, but why did the Torah say it that way? Why did it just say B'Sei Chagan?
What's the exact lashon of the pasuk?
Ve'etz HaChaim B'Sei Chagan, ve'etz HaDas Toivara. Should have said ve'etz HaChaim, ve'etz HaDas B'Sei Chagan. Okay, so you have to do that explain. The problem is you can't say that, because what did Chava say to the snake? Rak ha'etz asher b'sei chagan amar elikim le'seichel amenu. How does that exclude your teretz? You hear his teretz? His teretz would work.
Rock means just one.
The tree. Umi pri ha. It doesn't say rock. It says, sorry, I'm just adding that word in. She says, Umi pri ha'etz asher b'sei chagan.
Still,
and
ha'etz is singular.
Ha'etz. She says ha'etz, the tree in the middle of the garden, which says that there's only one tree in the middle of the garden. So now you could thicken your teretz, just refine it a little bit. What's the teretz? That there's only one tree in the garden. There aren't two trees. It's the biggest mistake in the world. Anyone who says there's two trees never really learned it inside. To learn it inside, there's only one tree in the middle.
Two sides.
What?
Two sides.
No two sides? You're right. Now you're going to have new kashas. We answered his kashas. Now we know why there's no address in the tree of knowledge. It's the same tree. Right? And we also know why.
Still confusing what you're saying. It though.
Yeah. So we have all the kashas. There's kashas. So it should. No, but what you have to read it now is, and the tree of life in the middle of the garden, and that's the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
And.
Mipri ha'etz asher eitz hachayim b'sei chagan ve'etz hadas tovera. And that's the true. And it's the what? Ve'etz hadas tovera.
That's lashon of the pasuk.
Yeah, ve'etz. And that the Eitz HaChaim is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It has two. You have to explain why it has two names. You also have to figure out why.
Wait, but at the end
it says he's also going to eat from the tree of life. Okay, good. These are all kashas. Everything will be clear in a minute. Not in a minute, but soon. Okay. So everyone has my claim. I am claiming. I'm arguing that everything we know about Gan Eden is wrong. There's a Gan with one tree right smack in the middle. And it has two names. It's called the Eitz Hadas and the Eitz HaChaim. So what does that mean? Now, what does that mean? So how could you have the law, a tree that you could eat from? You know you're allowed to eat from the Eitz HaChaim, but you can't eat from the Eitz Hadas. How could you have a law to eat and not to eat from the same tree? If it's one tree. Right? These are all important questions.
So, wait,
What?
Is the uncles? I can't read it so clear. It seems like he's saying it's one tree.
Yeah?
Possible.
Kolil the Meragig the Mechazei. Meragig, uses the same word as Esrog, interesting. The Meragig the Mechazei. The Tavel Mecha, the Ilan Chaya B'Mtzias Ginta, the tree of life in the middle of the garden. The Ilan the Ochlin Peiroi Chakimin Bein Tavel Bish.
You're saying the people that eat from that tree, is that what he's saying?
No, the Ilan and the tree that those who eat its fruit.
It doesn't say those that eat about in the pasuk. I think he's saying that it's explaining the Yitzchak. That's the way I see it. That's what. Not that.
It could be. I don't know. It could go both ways.
It seems more of a purish.
It could be. Maybe you could say that, but you could. It's not muchrach dafka. You could say and the tree that, because he's explaining how could a tree be knowledge? What does that mean? A tree gives you knowledge. If you eat it, you get knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's so we don't pause it. So now let's do this. So. Let's go through the first opinion. So the first opinion let's use the Geffen. That's the most predominant opinion of what kind of tree it is. Okay, so Rabbi Safran, I just know you're gonna. I'm not here. I just think you're gonna love this. I could leave it alone if you want. You probably I don't know what you did to get so but I'm just saying it's too exciting. You'll see. It starts off slow, but here's what it means. You ever use the Geffen? Okay, let's say it's a Geffen. Do this fast. Let's say it's a Geffen. You ever read a wine label? What is make me up a wine label. Make me up a good wine label.
Hints of chocolate.
Hints of chocolate.
Notes of blueberries.
Notes of blueberries.
Pierswell.
Vanilla and pear and
Robust. Pierswell's not really a thing.
what?
It's like sourced from the wine valley near.
Values, yeah. Okay, so you get the gist of it.
Do not drop.
Right. Then you read a little further, and it says ingredients 100% grape. So where did the blueberry and the vanilla and the coconut and the chocolate and where'd that all come from? The soil. So we know that we don't understand it necessarily, but those who are involved in this understand it, that somehow every mineral in the soil affects the grape. Depending on the areas, there's good wine countries because they have the minerals give off certain robust flavors, So, okay, but it's not just the soil, because you can plant the same grapes in the same soil every single year, and every year it tastes different. Why? What else affects the grape besides the soil?
Rainfall, sun.
The climate. It was warmer, it was wetter, it rained earlier, it rained longer, cooler, warmer. The climate has a total effect on the grapes. Not only the climate, because you can plant the same grapes in the same soil, in the same year, in the same climate, and it'll taste different depending what barrel you put it in, because the barrel will also affect. And you can have the same grapes in the same soil, from the same climate, from the same barrel, and it'll taste differently how long it sat in the barrel. If you drink one in 2014, the other one in 2027, it's going to taste differently. Because what else affects the grape? Because time affects the grape. What else? The altitude you're at, how long it breathes, the temperature you drink at, the glass you drink it from. Bottom line, what affects a grape? If you wanted to write an essay about winemaking, everything. In Yiddishkeit, this is the important thing. Wine represents the idea of what we call today, in modern thought, they call it mindfulness, presence. The most mindful thing in the world is a grape. In the Chazal's Lashon, before the world got around to it, we called it Ba B'Yamav, someone who lived all of his life. With everything, all of his moments, he comes with his days. It's a very nice phrase. Ba B'Yamav. The thing in the world that is most Ba B'Yamav is a grape. A grape is the mashal for a person who literally lived his entire life. Nothing was lost. Nothing went over its head. Nothing was never spaced out. Bottom line is, we live 120 years, and we have we're exposed to many different experiences. You know how you define shleimus? Shleimus would be is that you maximized every single thing that you were exposed to. Everything that you were exposed to that you missed out on is a level of existence that you could have had that you lost.
But what about not letting things influence you?
What?
What about not letting things influence you? I mean, the grape let everything that came in contact with influence it. Not everything is good.
Who says?
Everything.
That's a fascinating discussion, right? So maybe it's worth even a detour. It's such a good point you're making. But let me just say now, everything is worth experience. The only reason why something wouldn't... Well, you answer it.
Not experience.
We've done this already in other shiurim. How would I answer this question? You can answer this. I'll help you get to on your own, like what I would answer. I'm consistently saying that all desire is good, taiva is good, all averas are not desire, it's giving up your desire. Everything that exists in the world, embracing it is chashav. There's only one reason not to embrace something. What is the answer? What? Existence is good.
It's a shortcut.
Which means what?
It's taking away from existence.
Well, how could something that exists be taken away from existence?
The better existence.
Oh! The only reason you shouldn't, that existence is the wrong existence, existence isn't the wrong existence. The only reason you shouldn't choose something is because there's nothing more existent to choose. Don't eat the rice when there's spare ribs. There's no bad existence.
It is bad existence, but why are you letting things influence you that shouldn't be influencing you?
Everything should influence you. Unless there's something better that should influence you. You should choose the chabura in the mirror that you're going to get the most Torah from.
So the grape is just a pushover. Whatever came its way, you just accept it. Keep one down.
The grape, that's not the grape's job to choose where to go. The grape was planted. Your job in life is whoever's making decisions for you and putting you somewhere, is you're in shir, listen to the shir. Yes, your parents sent you to that yeshiva. You had no say. But you're there. Go to Musa Seder, go to Halacha Seder, learn your chavrusas, take notes in the shir, maximize you. Hashem put you in the world. Any single thing that you avoid in life is a chelek of God, existence, that you were exposed to, that you squandered. The most that you could be is to fully assimilate everything you're faced with. I always say it like this, what's wrong with instant gratification?
Makes you lazy.
What?
Makes you lazy.
Why?
You never work for something.
Why should I work for it if it's available right now? That's stupid.
Because it's much better than work.
It's meaningless.
Yeah.
Why is it meaningless?
It loses its value if you
I
don't.
don't know.
No, it's too fun.
Well, if I'm offering you a steak that you could have right now, or rice in a bag, you're gonna have to boil it, okay, and wait 15 minutes. Why not?
You have to compare steak to
We're all
steak.
taking the steak.
Yeah.
What? Of course.
Of course, but if you offer me a steak right now,
So
with a steak in the back,
instant
you go-
gratification.
No, but you offer me a steak.
Have the
right-
rice is a half an hour. There's no value in waiting a half an hour.
Sure there is. If you offer me a steak right now or a steak in 50 minutes that I have to work for,
I didn't know. I chose to offer you rice right
Pizza
now.
is
It's
not
not-
okay, so then you're not comparing to the same
Why
thing.
should you wait half an hour for the same steak?
That's not waiting, it's
If
working.
I'm working on it, I'm still going to pick the steak right away, don't get me wrong. But people might
And
choose.
anybody who
But the
chooses
steak
people
you
would
choose
choose
later
to
tastes
work
better.
on it.
that's stupid. Why?
They want to make their own food. There's a certain gratification to working on what you enjoy.
It's not untrue what you're saying, but that's a different experience. That's not the steak.
Right.
Right? That's self. And the steak is just
That's
as
what you
good.
say, that it's instant gratification, you don't get
The
that.
problem with instant gratification is not instant. There's nothing wrong with instant. The problem is if I'm offering you 4 gratifications. Here's your choice, multiple choice. Do you want the quickest instant gratification? A. Do you want the longest lasting gratification? B. Do you want the cheapest gratification? It cost you the least. 3. Do you want the best gratification?
Well, what's the best?
4.
It was best thing.
Means best, maximum,
You already said longest.
longest lasting.
So
Longest
maximum but shortest?
It's maximum. So whenever you add up,
So
you
obviously
add up the longest lasting, this one is more. It just happens
So
quick.
obviously maximum, you answered the question.
The only rational answer is maximum gratification.
Right.
What's wrong with instant gratification is it's the wrong thing to choose instant. You should choose best. You're supposed to ask me in any situation which one is the best.
You think instant is never best?
If it is, then you choose it because it's best, not because it's instant. Nothing wrong with instant gratification. There's only wrong with instant gratification when there was something better that took more time and you chose the quick one. That's the only thing wrong. But instant gratification is not flawed. It's just flawed that that's your choice as opposed to maximum. You should always choose, and that's what I'm saying in life, you should always choose the most, the best experience. If you choose something that's not the best, then you squandered whatever was different about the better one than what you had. Maskim? Okay, good. Okay, so therefore, the mashal for shleimus, the best mashal for shleimus is a grape. A grape is the thing that literally lived every single one of its moments. It never pushed a snooze button. It never had a conversation where they said, huh, what, you know, right? The wife never said, you didn't hear a word I said, right? It never happened to a grape. Every single thing in its life, it shows up in the finished product. It's amazing grapes. To the point that if you were writing a poem about mindfulness and presence, you know, what would be the best metaphor of the poem? Wine, grapes. Grapes are the thing in the world that are most fully mindful. Literally, you can taste the soil and the barrel, everything shows up in the end. By the way, I think that's why Yayin Nesach is like, even we don't even have how far it goes, even the ideas of the people who touch it affect it. It's literally a sponge that absorbs everything affected. You don't understand what grapes are that thing. And that's why we make Kiddush on wine.
Coffee's very similar.
I don't know, coffee, different countries, different places, but they're all the same, and probably every year. You don't have
The year thing that could be right.
everything. The barrels of coffee. It happens to be
Taster's choice. I never heard of that.
a lot of.
I never heard you gotta get like 20, 25 taster's
Yeah,
choice.
no, and the
Taster's choice is like
and the barrel and the
single
container.
flavors.
It's coffee where it grows. A lot of things are affected by where they grow. You know, Scotch is also like that, but the bottom line is Scotch is affected by the soil and the climate and age, but
That's all the things.
what?
That's all the things.
No, it's not all the things. It's because every
I was thinking about the coffee that comes from animals.
Can't compare that.
No, 'cause
I don't know
it's-
the barley, whatever. I don't know whatever it is. Scotch is not as subtle as wine. You don't have the varieties of. I'm not a winemaker, but Scotch is close.
Scotch doesn't really get
No, wine is the most delicate.
It's not as delicate. It's
The
not.
palate has to be like.
It's not the
No, it's-
breathing and ear. It's
Scotch
you don't
Wine
have.
is famous.
The differences in Scotch are way after it's grown. It's not
Right.
when
Okay,
it's
fine.
grown. They can only use
Right,
Scotch.
sugar, well, they use it,
It's
yeah.
only
Whatever it is,
after
yeah. I don't
processing
drink any of
and
this stuff.
aging.
So, but you can figure it out on your own. Grapes. Everyone understands that grapes. They're a whole grape connoisseurs, wine connoisseurs. People who like make their whole life this stuff. It's the most subtle thing in the world. Is wine. Now, so that's what Kiddush is. By the way, so that's what Kiddush is. The avoid. When you make Kiddush, it's the first thing in any Jewish experience. There's two types of events in life. There are calendar events, and there are life cycle events. Calendar events are Shabbos, Pesach, Sukkot, Shavuos, right? Life cycle events, Bris, Sheva Brachas, Chasna. Each of those events starts with what? A cup of wine, and you say, you mekadesh this man. What you're saying is, it's just a mindfulness exercise. You're saying we're about to have a seder. We're about to sit in the sukkah, and like don't miss this moment. Now the problem is, and that's why you use wine. This wine is that. But the problem is that so if you don't know the shtickle Torah about what wine is, so all your kiddushes were narishkeit. If you didn't know the symbolism, it's much more than just symbolism. The symbolism is true that they represent this, but wine actually, besides representing presence, it makes you more sensitive. It gets rid of blockages. When you drink wine, it makes you more tingly, more present, more aware, more vibrant until a certain share. I understand, but this is why we make Kiddush. Kiddush is metaphorically and symbolically and literally a tool to make you feel the moment. Now, you drank, you're feeling it a little bit, now start to say there. It's called being Mekadesh Tizman. Hashem is existence itself, so being godly is being more existent. I translate Kiddush as existing. I said existence exercise. Now Hashem is Havaya, He's total existence, and therefore if you want to be godly, you exist. So the more vibrant, alert, present you are, like the sound of Kedusha is Hineni. Here I am. You know, I'm ready, prepared, Muchan. Now, you know, it's like how do you say that? Like I'm present. I'm here. I'm on my game. I'm ready to feel. That's what Kedusha is. So wine in Judaism represents being. There's nothing more powerful in the world to represent presence than wine. What's interesting though is, let's say you wanted to write the opposite poem. You wanted to write a poem about not being, about checking out and being numb and feeling nothing. There's no better tool for that poem also than wine. Throughout all of history, wine is the thing you use to represent being checked out, being numb, feeling nothing. Right? That's what wine is. It's drown out your pain, wash away your worries, put everything away. So that's a pella. That's one of the most mind-blowing things in the world. That there's one item in the world that is literally the poster child for the two most opposite things in the world. The thing that most represents being alive and the thing that most represents being dead are grapes. The same item. If that's not like proof of something huge in itself, that's crazy. The trippiest thing in the world is grapes. And that's what it means that the Eitz Hadas and the Eitz HaChaim is the same tree. And it's a grapevine. The first Manda Omer says it's a grapevine. Because the grapevine, you can use it to be, that's the Eitz HaChaim, or you can use it to check out. Wine
Eitz Hadas
is...
checking out.
What?
Eitz Hadas.
Yeah, I have to explain to you why, okay? But if it was perfect, it would be called the tree of life and the tree of numbness. That would be perfect, right? But it's, okay, we'll get there.
Certain
But-
things you can't do if you have wine, but you can't serve the Mikdash, you can't do Duchenet wine.
Eitz Das should be the opposite of, if Eitz Das is what we gave us Das, then that should be.
Well, let's see what Das is. Yeah, we didn't explain what Das is. Das is what's the difference between Chachma, Bina, and Das? Das doesn't just mean smart. It means something else.
That means mindfulness, no?
What?
It means to be mindful, no?
Well, what is he? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to get hung up on any ideas yet until we can put more stuff on the table because I have to do all 4 sheets as fast, so I can't get so
So
hung
all
up.
for her?
But once you get one, the rest of them go very fast. The Eitz Hadas and the Eitz HaChaim is the same tree. So you understand what I'm saying? According to my Torah, we're saying that the Eitz HaChaim is the guy who's drinking wine to experience, and the Eitz Hadas, like I made up the statistic, right? I haven't told you my statistic, I made it up. So I don't really research, but I'm sure it's true. Which demographic in the world has the least amount of alcoholics?
Asians.
What?
Asians.
Don't get, it's not a racial group. Every race has a lot of Jews. Everybody's got a lot of alcoholics. You're not going to guess it. It's a gimmicky answer, but it's
We've
probably
done it.
true. What?
We've done it here a few times.
We've done what I said this?
Yeah.
Okay, so the answer is that is wine connoisseurs, a wine connoisseur. The wine connoisseur, it's impossible to be a wine connoisseur and alcoholic. It's two opposite people. The wine connoisseur's goal is what? Experience every subtlety. He washes his mouth first. He sucks it around, swishes it around, smells it. He wants to experience nuance. The alcoholic, what's his goal? To check out and feel nothing. He would shoot it straight into his veins if he could. He wants to feel nothing. You can't be a connoisseur and an alcoholic. It's two opposite people. There's never ever been a wine connoisseur as an alcoholic. You could have an alcoholic who fakes being a connoisseur, so he has access to wine, but he's not a connoisseur. He's an alcoholic. He wants not to feel rather than to feel. Maskim? By the way, this is why when we make Kiddush, what do we say? What does a Jew say on Kiddush? We say L'chaim. What's the Paninius now? What are we saying? Should be Eitz HaChaim wine, not Eitz Hadas wine. You're drinking to live. And this is also the answer why college students always ask me, like, why does the Torah let you drink wine? What's wrong with pot? Torah says wine is good.
What's wrong with what?
Pot. Cannabis. It's the number one question every teenager asks. Torah says you can get wine. Why is one a high difference? What's the answer according to this?
Not getting high on the wine.
The Torah is not telling you to get drunk. Getting drunk is the reason why Torah likes wine, because wine has this other side, which is totally being. Pot is only the other side of wine, which is the bad side of wine. Wine has the good side and the bad side. Torah is not pro-drunkenness. The Torah is pro-alertness, presence, which is which is l'chaim wine, Eitz HaChaim wine. So now this, according to this word, before we go on to the next one, so what's the story of the Eitz Hadas now, of the Gan Eden? The most important story in history. Hashem puts Adam and Chava into a Gan, and he tells them, it's a mashal. In front of you is a tree. And this tree is a tree of life or a tree of knowledge. What is that? What's the nimshal of this mashal? It means that you're here in the world, and in front of you, everything in front of you is a choice. You could choose to be present and use the world to be alive, or you could use everything in the world as a hiding place. I'll give you the longer version of that for a second. It's worth investing in time. You have two people living the exact same Seder Ayim. One guy gets up and goes to shul in the morning because he wants to talk to the Rebbeinu Shalom and daven for his family. The other person gets up and goes to shul in the morning because he doesn't want to have to get his kids ready for school and write mitzvah notes and put the boots over their shoes and pack snacks and lunch. It's too hard. So one guy is going to shul because he wants to talk to Hashem, one was he's running away from his kids. Then after shul is over, they both go to their chavrusas. One guy goes to the chavrusa, he can't wait to learn Torah, he wants to leave off, he left off by sharing places, I want to see what Beit Tam answers, and the other guy is going to his chavrusa because he can't get out of shul because he couldn't talk to Hashem. He just left his wife with 6 kids, bailed out on her, so you can't talk to Hashem when Hashem knows that you're not really there because he ran away. So shul is like just, like he leaves before Orlando, you just take his film off already, he's like, books out. He's not going to his chavrusa, he's running away from shul. Then, an hour later, they go to work. One guy goes to work because he wants to take care of his clients, make some parnasa, finish off the deals he's working on. The other one is he ran away from his house to go to shul. Then he ran away from shul to his chavrusa. Now he just sat for an hour, couldn't learn a word. He's going to his office to run away from chavrusa. At 5 o'clock, they both go home. One goes home because he wants to see his kids before they go to sleep and say Shema with them and tell them the story and talk to his wife and catch up on the day. And the other one, you just got to get out of office because he's not making the phone calls he's supposed to make. He's looking at things on his computer he shouldn't look at. The whole thing is running away because he didn't learn a word today. He didn't daven a word. He didn't know about it. He feels like a slug. He couldn't do any deals. He didn't have an edge. And then the first guy tucks his kids in, tells them the story, sings Shema with them, Amalach. Then he goes, talks to his wife, has supper. Then he goes to night seder, and then to his chavrusa. He had an amazing day. The other person goes to his chavrusa because he couldn't face his kids and he didn't want to schmooze with his wife. Both guys live the exact same Seder Yom. At any moment in time, they're both sitting in the same place doing the same thing. One guy lived 24 hours of life, and the other one experienced 0. Everything was just a hiding place from the previous place. Shul was hiding from home, the chavrusa was hiding from shul, the office is hiding from the chavrusa, home is hiding from the office. 24 hours, every single thing was the absence of an experience. When you run away from something, your experience is no pain, but you didn't experience anything. So one person, every single day of his life, he's putting 24 hours into the bank. His wine is going to be most unbelievable vintage. It's going to be a crazy wine. His life, Kaf Shemaim, his oil haba is complete. The other one, it's empty shells. Nothing was full. Do you understand the difference? So the entire story of Gan Eden, according to this, is this is the Gan. The universe is the Gan. Me and you are the Merchava. In middle of the Gan is a tree. What does it mean in middle of the Gan? It's like in a video game. When you scroll, the boss that you're facing is always in the middle. Because the screen scrolls. It means the universe is just a round world. The thing in front of you, you're at any moment of time, the thing in middle of the Gan that you're facing, you have to know the thing that's in front of you is an Eitz Hadas or an Eitz Chaim. Everything in life is a hiding place or a being place. Your choice, you always get, there's only one Bechira. You know what Bechira is? What do you call this Bechira? What's the shortest way to describe the Bechira we're talking about? To be or not to be. Right? To be or not to be. The Eitz HaChaim is the choice to be, and the Eitz Hadas the choice not to be. And it's the same tree. Beautiful. That's the lesson of the Geffen. And that's the whole secret of life. Literally, you can stop here and you understand the universe. The Kadosh Baruch Hu put people in the world. He says, I am Havaya. I am existence itself. You want to experience God, you have to exist. You'll never be all of God, but I'm going to give you a nice chunk of existence available to you. You're Chelek Eloka. You have a Chelek Eloka, a piece of existence. I'm going to feed it to you, though, one day at a time. And let's see if you can put it in a bag. And Shleimus is to be, to choose to embrace every single thing Hashem gives you. And the other choice is just to check out. Now it gets complicated. You have to understand. The things that drive you to be, and the things that drive you not to be. The things that drive you not to be is called the voice of the Nachash. He's saying like chill, you know, and then you could study it. Like, but the framework, if you want to know the purpose of life according to Judaism, is what? Is to be, to exist. Because Hashem is existence itself. To be godly, which means to be. And to check out. That's the first Manda Omar. And therefore the purpose of life is to be present, alert, vibrant. Then the second Manda Omar comes and goes, no, it's not a gefen, it's a chita. What's he arguing? Let's say it's the same shita. Each Manda Omar is slightly changing the narrative. What's the chita guy saying? The chita also has has multiple ways to see a chita. It's also a tree that could be because chita has many levels. The most processes of any food is a chita. If you just eat wheat, it's a hadama, right? You grind it up, and you make it into cookies. You have a mazoinais, and then you make challah. What separates from all the different levels of experience in wheat? How much work you put into it. So it's also the question of the struggle of life, to be or not to be. What?
Make alcohol out of it also.
Make alcohol out of it.
Sourdough.
Okay. But what's the word of chita? It's V'zei Asatecha's work. You do chayresh and zayreya and kaitzer, so many malachas. Every step you do, it gets better and better and better until it becomes mamash lechem. Right?
It's the opposite of gefen because
So what's his argument with the first mandam? What's he saying? The first mandam is saying he's want to be or not to be, and he says, what's the secret of being? Mindfulness, presence. What does the second one say? Stop with this mindfulness. It's like so 2020, you know. It's about how much work you're putting in. If you're going to be lazy, that's Eitzadas. Then you have a hadama. You'll eat some wheat kernels. You'll wonder like, what's the big deal, you know? And if you go ahead and you make yourself some sourdough, you can charge $20 for this little bilkla, right? So what's the second mandam saying? It's the same machlekes. It's a very deep machlekes. If your goal of life is to be, what do you have to do? You have to become mindful or become azaris. I don't even think he's arguing. I think he's just adding. The first one says it's a great. You go, it's not good enough to be present.
right, it's philosophy versus
Doing.
so that's machlekes. It's not.
Well, you know, I don't know if I'm thinking he's saying more. You have to be both. He's saying not only is it a grapevine, it's also a chita. If you're not mindful, then you go through emotions, you're just a horse. You're not enjoying it. Everyone agrees that it's a grapevine. Is it also a chita? Each one is adding to the previous position.
What's kavanah without a ma'isa? I'm saying if
Right, exactly. So the mandam says chita, says gefen. It sounds weird. You're mindful. So you're so deep. I guess in Mayach you really get it. Torah is just Talmud Torah. Is Yediyas Elikus. Is Das. It's just knowledge, right? So that's huge. It's higher than anything else, right? That we gave a different shit. You were a different shit. We heard us talk about rice versus pastrami and shmorg. So the pastrami and the shmorg is intellectual pleasure. Chila is rice. The reason why you should choose the higher pleasure is because it's a deeper pleasure. The guy who eats rice, the guy who eats as opposed to going to the Beis Medrash, his problem is he's a shvach bal taiva. He has to work on his taivas. He's such a low level taivas. Like you don't want bigger. You don't want to know everything. You just want to fresh. It's not that he's a bal taiva. It's the opposite. We think the guy fresh is a bal taiva. No, you're a failure at taiva. You need to raise your taiva game. The biggest bal taiva is learning. So this is a huge machlekes over here. This is the story. This machlekes is the story of Bria. This is the struggle of life. One mandamar says it's about presence. The other one says it's about activity. Any other shittas that are possible? What's the next? We know there's two more opinions at least. So what else could there be?
Is it deep? I think you said deep.
Yeah, let's do Esrig next. Esrig. What is? What are we missing? So let's say now you are totally mindful. You get everything. Totally get it. And then you go and you hustle and you do everything. So is there another opinion that that's not good enough?
Consistency.
Perfection.
Consistency is implicit in the guy who's doing. If you're not doing, then you're not really consistent. Consistency would be if you're going to divide doing into its struggles. One that exists. But we're saying doing without qualifying it, we're assuming it's total doing. It's not an extra step, it's part of doing. The guy who's actually hustling, he got over the consistency hump already on his own. We could have divided it up into different sugyas, but we didn't do that. What's more? There's really 3 more stages.
Your heart.
What?
Your heart also. I'm trying to think of what else.
The heart's part of the presence. If you missed out on the emotional components, then the heart is part of the heart and the mind. All that stuff is all part of the geffen. You already got it. You're already a poet. You get it so deep. You didn't miss anything. You can write books about it. And then the guy goes, "Nice to write books. Here, roll your sleeves up and do something about it." Okay. So the next mandamar says it's an esrog. You know what an esrog is? What's an esrog? What's the difference between an esrog and a lemon? What's the difference? Basically a lemon. What's the difference? Why is esrog pre-eitz hadar? Why do you pay $100, $200, $300 for an esrog? 79 cents, 39 cents, whatever a lemon costs. What's the difference?
No scratches, no bumps.
Bumps. The bumps. The bumps of it, what does that mean? What does that mean to you? The difference between the bumps. So I have other reasons to say this. I need a little more evidence to make the shir complete, but I want to argue like this. That bitterness is what the lemon and the esrog share. It's a bitter fruit. People think my job is to be present, my job is to be active and to embrace my life. It's all true. But the next one that comes, it's very nice that you should be productive and active and everything. But you know what else you have to include that you didn't think of? Even your trauma is part of who you are. If you figured out how to get over your pain and go weiter, then you missed out. Because the pain is part of your experience. When you're gathering all the pieces of your puzzle to be sholem, you have to also gather your trauma. What makes the esrog pre-eitz hadar, tam eitza yu piriyoi shava, that the fruit is exactly like the tree, everything and nothing got lost, is it the bumps. The bumps are its beauty, that it wears its tsar. It's not suppressed tsar. A sholem isn't only his good moments. A sholem, in order, if you want to be complete, you have to be a geffen, totally mindful. Then you have to be a chita, totally involved. Then you have to be an esrog. You even have to figure out how to take your tsar and figure out where that was supposed to launch you. Your tsar is also part of you. A sholem is all 3 of those things. And that's the bumps of the esrog. So what's the last opinion?
Fig.
The fig. So what are we missing over here? Can you figure it out? The fig is the coolest answer in the world. What else is there? What more is there? What more could there be to shleimus? Not only we included already, you're totally mindful. You missed nothing. You saw everything. Then you did everything. You weren't lazy one day. You didn't miss one seder. You didn't leave anything on the field. And not only that, for all your tsar, you worked it through. You didn't ignore any of it. You didn't suppress any of it. You took it all. You learned its lessons. You squeezed every amount of godless out of all your pains. You're wearing all your bumps like an esrog. Every single bump shows up. What's the last thing? And somebody would say you're still not showing. The hint is the fig is the only way to say this. What's the fig? Where's the fig in the story? When they ate from the tree and they were ashamed, what did they do?
Fig leaves.
They covered themselves with the fig. As he said, they covered themselves with the fig leaves. So what does that mean?
No.
So why is the guy saying that the thing they covered with themselves with must have been the tree that they ate it from? Why would that be the case? Where's he coming from?
using back for good.
What does that mean? Good. Let's work it out. What else is necessary for shleimus? Not only do you have to be mindful, not only do you have to be fully active, not only do you have to include even your trauma, but the fact that they use the fig leaves to make their belts is telling us that you know what the last step of shleimus is? You're not fully alive unless you also include what?
Your mistake.
Even your averas are part of who you are. You have to figure out how to take your averas and make that. It's all meduyak in that they took the fig that they ate and they made fig leaves. What does that mean in the nimshal in my life? Is even your averas are part of you, and you have to turn them around and make them into something. You have to figure out how to use them. You're not a sholim if you just got rid of your averas. That's what it means that tshuva me'ava turns into doinas nasas chuyas. Your mitzvahs are gold because your averas are so deep. It's the most amazing machlokes in the world. The machlokes of the Gan Eden is what is the purpose of life? And the truth is they're all right. There's one more shita. There are those who say that the Eitz HaChayim is a pomegranate. And if I'm saying that the same tree, so that means the Eitz HaDas is also a pomegranate. So what would that lesson be? What's more? What else is there to say? You have to be present, active, you have to include even your trauma and even your averas.
Pomegranate's like mitzvahs, 6:13.
What does that mean? The seeds, you're right about the seeds. The seeds are what makes the pomegranate. It somehow represents totally invested in something. What is it? You don't have to dance. All this stuff is obvious. What's the most obvious thing to learn from a pomegranate? What's the most important thing in a pomegranate? What's a pomegranate telling you is the most important thing?
It holds it together.
What's the most important thing? What's a pomegranate saying? Holding the shell is what protects. What's it protecting? What's in the shop? What's the pomegranate? Seeds. So what does that say? It says that you could be the most mindful person in the world. You could be the most active person in the world. You could have harnessed all of your trauma and all of your averis and made gold out of them. It's all worth nothing unless what? Unless you leave it over to the world. Unless you nourish it. Because then the universe, you have to plant it in the garden. And it's all about seeds. Done.
Why is it
How's this?
pomegranate?
Tu Lishma Samos tree.
This is the story of a tree. This is the tree. This is what you have to know. The Elon. This is the Rashon Elonis. The Elon is it's about the Eitz HaDas and Eitz HaChayim. That's the tree. You know, it's to be or not to be, but the different levels of being. Havana of what's expected as far as presence. All right, Chavra.